How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast back with another podcast, and I apologize for not having, or at least being around for another podcast or last week, but we had a lot of stuff going on, so but I'm able to do it this week, and good thing too because this week we're going to be talking maybe a little bit about some gaming stuff, but one of the major things that I wanted to talk about was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 and The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episodes 9 through 13, I believe. I think it was 13. Which I can't wait to talk about this stuff with you guys. It's going to be so awesome. Really exciting. And, by the way, so just to give you guys a heads up, for those who've been following me with the reaction content that I've been doing, I'm trying to look into other content creators and so on. So hopefully we can do some more stuff and all that nonsense. So hopefully if you guys have any suggestions on any animation creators or any other content that you guys want me to react to, let me know, because I may end up going back to doing the drama stuff, but not as often as I did before, like mostly just kind of on and off doing it. But anywho, so, and by the way, I'm gonna say right off, I've heard some crazy things, especially when it comes to PS5 and the Xbox Series X with scalpers, as well as, is it scrappers or scalpers? I think it was called scalpers. And I guess people being really butthurt when it comes to the release for Cyberpunk. So hopefully things work out, because honestly, I'm excited for Cyberpunk. I really am. It looks like a really cool game. Also, another thing to look forward to, as I'm waiting for everybody else to come on, because I sent them the link. Between finishing up videos for Borderlands, I will also be doing videos for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Now, the one thing I'm afraid of is if they retcon the story for Breath of the Wild. I would say that would be really bad. But I guess, if anything, we'll wait and see what they do. But all in all, I'm excited. I'm excited to start that game. So let's see. Right now we got Mel. How's everything going? We got 2 people watching, as well as 3 likes. Awesome. Looking forward to doing this. Oh my gosh. Can't wait to get actual internet too, so that way I can start doing stuffs. Make things easier for myself to do some of the things I've been doing. All right. Nobody's on so far. Alrighty. Let's see. I'm looking at Discord and everything. Alrighty. So how's everybody doing today? Everybody doing good? How's it going, Mel? All right, checking Discord, checking everything, making sure the stream's working. I'm trying to find the article too for Cyberpunk. Oh, wait, I think I found it. Actually, just within seconds, I found the article. Oh gosh, it sucks that I can't show you guys. Mel says I'm sick today, but doing better now that this stream is existing. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and we got, I guess, a really funny article too, from Polygon, which, oh boy, yeah, they suck at freaking anything when it comes to writing about games. By the way, also, something else too, especially for those who are probably going to watch this after the fact that we stream. When it comes to character design, like, can we create our own mercenary? You guys let me know what you guys like, some ideas of what you guys want for the character design. Because honestly, I might go really ridiculous with it. Because I've heard that apparently it's very, very freaking extensive. And when it comes to, I think how extensive the character creation is almost got friggin' CD Projekt Red in trouble due to, or at least with Polygon or The Verge or whatever. So you guys let me know, and I might do something as ridiculous as creating like a freaking bulky Amazon woman for just like I did for the Dragon's Dogma playthrough for CD Projekt Red's or for CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk. So you guys let me know, and then I can come up with some ideas or use some of the ideas you guys come up with for the character when I finally play, because that game's coming out in 6 days. I am so freaking excited. But the article from Polygon, yes, it's the oh gosh, the title itself says it all. It sucks that Cyberpunk 2077's edgelord marketing works so well. I don't know how to react to that, especially with the fact that unfortunately I'm recording the stream through my phone or using the app on my phone. But good lord, like that just says it all. And I'm wondering if this person actually knows anything about CD Projekt Red or, what, the kind of games that company has made, because it's not, whatever they did for the marketing, that's not like entirely, what caused a lot of people to be very supportive with the game. And I don't think this person realizes that it's the fact that, people enjoyed the Witcher series. It's because the Witcher itself, I mean, at this point in time, it's still going strong with a lot of people enjoying that game. So, all in all, but yeah, oh gosh, yeah, and the text under it, the title says CG Projekt Red sure has got everyone or everybody talking about this game. By what's this person's name? I can't find it. Oh wait, I found it. But good lord. Also, apparently people were flipping out about some of the concept art. And some of the designs of the characters. All I'm going to say, especially when it comes to some of the complaints from the quote unquote Polygon article, you can never, you can't make everybody happy. And you're going to have those people that are just going to bitch and moan about things. And I bet I would say maybe 95%, you're going to have a lot of people. This game is going to have a lot of diversity, and at this point, kind of pander to certain groups or individuals, and people are going to still find things to bitch about or complain about. It's just, it gets old. It gets old. How's it going, in? All right. Let's see. But yeah, we got that article. By the way, have you guys heard the story about the apparently? Because I was hearing. Oh, In's on.
Hello.
Hey, you want to hear a funny story?
About
This scalpers.
concerning the PS5?
Oh no, I heard a couple of things. First off, apparently, a scalper got his address leaked, and all of his stock was stolen. So I can only imagine, the money he probably lost and probably won't make a return on.
Like, I may not condone scalping,
Yeah,
but that doesn't make doxing okay.
that's true.
I'm not okay with that. Like, it may be just desserts and all that, but it's just.
I guess if anything, it's a mixed bag because a lot of people were really frustrated with that kind of behavior, with the fact that some of these people are like, not only for some cases, not only doubling the price, but sometimes tripling or quadrupling the price. Hell, and it's like the PS5 and Xbox Series X is like, let's say around close to 500 or 500. So for 3 to 4 times, it's you probably get like either a really cheap, a good laptop or a freaking like used car with that amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So makes no sense. Then, but anyways, yeah. So so scalper got his address leaked and his entire stock completely gone. So sucks to be him. But apparently there was another case where a dude was buying a console from a scalper, and when they were delivering it to him, apparently the individual sent him to a comedy club. And during the confusion, the guy's asking why'd you send me to a comedy club? He's like, oh, are you at the comedy club? And he's like, yes. I'm like, okay, then walk in and tell them you're trying to sell a PS5 for triple the price. Maybe you get some work.
Huh.
I thought it was funny. I guess the joke is the fact that it'd be a joke to pay triple the price.
Yeah.
For PS5.
Like, you'd have to be
desperate.
Super
honestly,
desperate.
Dude, at this point, I'm going to wait till after Christmas. Hopefully, Best Buy is still doing the whole thing where you do payments. And I'm probably going to buy both the Xbox Series X and PS5 through Best Buy. I might as well get warranties too, but at the same time. just to play it safe, because I bought my Xbox One X about a year ago.
Yeah.
And somehow the freaking HDMI got ruined. And I still have my old Xbox One, but I'm worried about, playing or for my recording for videos, because I wanted to make sure it was like 60 frames per second, stuff like that.
It's understandable.
But I guess the quality was
Ghost of Tsushima apparently looks even more phenomenal on it. On PS5.
The PS5?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I'll have to check it out. But, oh my gosh. There's been a few interesting things.
There was one thing of note that I wanted to bring up. I'm trying to remember what it was. Hold on a second. I think it was on here. Let's see. Yep.
Oh,
Oscar Isaac
Oscar Isaac.
is apparently going to be playing as Solid Snake in Sony's Metal Gear Solid movie.
Oh, by the way, because we were talking about it briefly in Discord. Apparently, because I think MJ was the one that brought it up, and I kind of flipped out about it a little bit. Apparently, PT or Silent Hills may be a thing. I'm just thinking, and apparently it might be announced during the Game Awards. And I'm just thinking, one, I was angry. It was like, it's taken this fucking long for us to finally get that Silent Hill game.
Silent Hills, man, I can't wait.
You know, I'm gonna say this. Please still have Norman Reedus. I think, if anything, I mean, still go back with the original, like how the original group that was working on it. Get Guillermo del Toro, Norman Reedus. I mean, they would probably have a blast creating that game.
Yeah, you'd have to. I wonder if they'd be able to convince Guillermo to come back after what he said.
What did he say?
If the Silent Hills thing going the way it did soured it for him. Soured the game industry for him.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So fingers crossed.
That's sad. Also, I was making suggestions to chat because when I finally play Cyberpunk, to make suggestions for the character design for my created character.
That's a good idea.
Because apparently, it, as I mentioned, it's very, very extensive. In fact, CG Projekt Red got heat by several groups about how extensive the character creation is.
So, yeah, it gets pretty deep. So, real quick, concerning Oscar Isaac, Isaac. I thought he looked familiar when I looked him up. I've only seen 3 of the things he's been in, but he's got that face you can't forget.
Okay, I'm
he
looking
played
right now.
Blue Jones, who is the antagonist of Sucker Punch.
Now, is this going to be for the Metal Gear movie?
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to be oh gosh, I'm trying to think, like Big Boss, or we be like actual Snake?
If it is Solid Snake, then it's gonna be the one that David Hayter is known for voicing. The one basically raised by Big Boss.
Okay. He actually does almost have the face for it.
Yeah. He's the other 2 roles I've known Oscar Isaac for are
the only thing I'm gonna say is
Poe Dameron, or however his last name's pronounced, from the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
And En Sabanur, or Apocalypse from X-Men.
So Poe, right?
Yeah.
I could see him as that in that role a little bit.
He also played as Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse.
No way. Get out of town. He actually did. Okay, yeah, he did. Fucking hell.
Those are the only 3 roles I know him from. Sucker Punch, Star Wars, and
Ex Machina,
X-Men.
Inside, Loon Davis, X-Men Apocalypse, Triple Frontier. Looking at some of the movies, every time we look at a freaking actor or somebody. Yeah,
those are the only 3 notable roles I know.
June 2001 or 21. June 2021. The Addams Family. He played in the Addams Family. Ugh. The 2019 one. Ugh. The Promise, A Most Violent Year, Operation Finale. He played in Annihilation, Life Itself, Sucker Punch, Drive, Robin Hood, The Bourne Legacy, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Who do you play that? Who do you play in that?
Interesting person number 1.
Interesting person number 1? What the fuck? Going to IMDb. Good lord. So yeah, I can. That'd be cool. But
yeah,
again,
I could see it. Question is, could he do the voice?
Which is why I made that remark. Please don't suck. Please don't suck. Please don't suck.
Then again, I mean, he could make it his own. He could make it his own. It doesn't have to sound even remotely like David Hayter. It really doesn't.
As long as it's nothing like Dragon Ball Z Evolution or friggin' something like the long lines of Assassin's Creed, where it's like really fucking stupid, I don't care how he does it. It just can't be really fucking stupid.
My only thing I'm hoping for is that he doesn't. I actually do kind of hope he doesn't try for the David Hayter style voice, even though it's not hard to replicate. It's not necessarily hard to replicate for most people, for a good number of people.
Commander.
Colonel. It's just. It's
I think
on the throat. It's
Colonel.
Because you gotta have that gruff voice, you know? It's just. Nah.
Otacon.
Make it his own. Make it his own. Much like Kiefer Sutherland did with Big Boss in Metal Gear Solid Portable Peace Walker.
He's got that voice where it's like
for Metal Gear
already
Solid
freaking
5.
gruff.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out for him in that role. Though I will say, besides the audio logs, he was underutilized.
I wouldn't know.
Oh fuck yeah. Though, oh, by the way, so was it confirmed whether, because I heard two things that apparently, because I heard that they may redo Metal Gear Solid 5.
That's I don't think it was 5. I hear it's a remake of Metal Gear Solid.
1. Okay, that would actually be cool.
It would be more in my yeah, it would be, but I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather see a 3D recreation of the original Metal Gear.
So do I, but here's my thing. With Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, that game was unfinished. You call it what you will. The first two chapters, I feel like there was more content, and then those that got the bonus edition got an unfinished piece of the game.
Oh.
We're for like the last couple of missions. So I feel like, honestly, I feel like that, if anything, finish the damn game is what they should be doing. If they were to do a Metal Gear. I would like to see a remake of Metal Gear Solid, but at the same time, they should also finish that game. Hell, they can probably, spruce it up too. Also, I have another nitpick for Metal Gear Solid 5. As beautiful as the main intro or main theme is, which is I think it was Sin of the Father for Metal Gear Solid 5, or Father Sin. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sins of the Father. Okay, yes. There's one particular moment in that game where you're with Skullface and you're riding to face off against the Metal Gear, and that for the entire ride, the intro is playing, and it's like, I think that song is like what? How long is that song?
No idea.
I'm trying to find the info for it. Hold on. Okay, I found it. So about 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So for 6 minutes and 30 seconds, the characters aren't talking. It's just dead air as the song is playing, as you're driving to this bunker to fight the Metal Gear.
Okay.
So it's like, honestly, with that, as much as beautiful as that song is, take it out and make that segment shorter. Because we don't need to be sitting in the back of a freaking Humvee and listening to that song for 6 minutes. I think when I originally recorded, I tried so hard to freaking talk for 6 minutes.
Well, I mean, you could
When nothing
also
was going on.
listen to the audio logs you haven't listened to. You could put on a different
Well, no,
song,
I
most
couldn't
likely.
even. I don't think I could do that. I was just like I said. It was just sitting in dead air for 6 minutes.
And
the characters don't talk.
They had something similar in at least Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, where you're climbing up the ladder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at one point you're climbing up this ridiculously long freaking ladder, and the main theme of the game is playing as you're climbing it.
I feel like there was something you were doing something. I don't know. It's just really fucking stupid. I don't get it. And I have a feeling that was something that's a Kojima thing. But I like the one time it kind of made sense was like, and when it comes to youth, and it wasn't even a Metal Gear game. It was freaking what was it? Death Stranding. By the way, spoilers who've never played the game. You end up having to go to an area that you went to for the beginning of the game, and one of the main themes starts playing, and it's actually a really cool, really touching moment after the long journey that you've had to go through.
I think I know what moment you're talking about.
Okay, cool. Oh man, but yeah, I didn't get it, and I feel like that segment could have been shorter.
Gotcha. I'll let you know my thoughts whenever I get around to playing that game and get to that point.
Though I will say, when it comes to Metal Gear Solid 5, when I first played it, the twist is actually really good. Like the main twist that you don't find out till like near the end of the game. Have you played Metal Gear Solid 5?
No. Oh
shit.
I'm still working on the remaining side missions in Peace Walker HD, and then I'm gonna be playing I'll be slowly working on Rising Revengeance, and then I'll finally play 5.
I got another thing that they could do, or another nitpick that they could do for if they were to remake, or if they were to re-release Metal Gear Solid 5. Put Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain as one game.
Yes.
Put it as one game. That should not have been two separate games. If anything, for Ground Zeroes, that should have been a chapter. If anything, that's like the first. I know, but I'm saying you shouldn't have to pay like $40 fucking just to play the first chapter.
Now, here's the thing though. Ground Zeroes came out well before Phantom Pain came out.
I know, but what I mean is, it's technically like the first chapter of Phantom Pain.
If you just do the story part and none of the extra stuff, yeah. Because there's a shitload more to Ground Zeroes besides that first chapter part. But you can do.
If anything, like I said, it would have been better as just one game.
I won't argue with you on that. There's no doubt in my mind it would have worked that way, but the timing of the release, Kojima wanted either Kojima or Konami, one of the two, wanted the game out there as soon as possible, at least to give people that way people would at least get a taste of it, and that way people would have a feel for the new mechanics.
My best guess, it was Konami that wanted it out there, like just just releasing it. Because I think if anything, Kojima probably wanted to make sure it was like a solid game.
Because Phantom Pain was slowly it was around the time of Ground Zeroes coming out. It was starting to become a Duke Nukem Forever type thing.
Yeah.
With how long it took.
Good lord.
So I can't fault Konami for doing that if it was their decision. I can't fault Kojima if it was his decision.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man.
It would be nice if they were both in the same freaking thing.
I think that's what they like. If they, like I said, if they were to re-release it, that's what they should probably do.
I think they did have it that way in the Metal Gear Solid 5 collection. If there was one.
I'll double check. But all right, should we talk about the shows?
Shows?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go ahead and talk about Mandalorian, because I know nothing about it.
Okay.
I don't have Disney Plus, so I haven't been able to watch anything concerning the Mandalorian.
So,
not even season 1.
Because at this point, I'm kind of reserving like reviews or talks about TV shows or movies for the podcast, so that way I'm not making like episodes of it. But so Mandalorian, it's like it continues where the where it left off with Mando trying to find the Jedi, and each episode is very episodic. And I've mentioned this. I've mentioned this with the last season. It's very episodic, at least for like the last bit, like till the last bit anyway, where you have the
so
like the final fight.
So you're saying it's procedural, very procedural?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, have you ever seen? I think a good trying to think of like another example for like a comic or a TV show. Yeah, have you ever seen anything for oh gosh, what's it called? I'm trying to remember this particular anime that I've Mushishi. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I didn't finish it.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, where the chapters itself are very, very episodic.
Very procedural. Yeah, it's very much the same thing. No matter in each episode, it's just a different way to go about it, and with a different story behind it.
So basically, it's kind of like that. Where for the first couple of seasons, or for the first episodes, it's like a different thing that happens in each episode. For season 2, it's more of a continuous story at this point, especially since now Mando, he has a goal, which is to help Baby Yoda. Actually, they actually gave Baby Yoda a name, and I think they did that because they were tired of people complaining about calling him Baby Yoda. But no, they gave him a name. His name is Grogu. Was it Grogu? Grogu. Which honestly, I think it's adorable, especially when when they introduce like the name for the character. When Mando says it, he gives his little cute little friggin' gives him this cute little noise as he turns to Mando. We end up finding out what happened to Jango Fett from the original series, too.
That's good.
Well, actually, I don't even know. I don't think we know exactly what his fate was, but we find out that somebody took his armor.
Of course, but I mean, I think we already kind of figured that, considering Boba.
Yeah. Well, it turns, and by the way, something I found out too, looking at some stuff when it comes to lore. Apparently, Boba was not a Mandalorian.
He's one of the clones, though.
No, Boba was a bounty hunter. Jango was the clone. No, wait, no. I might be getting them confused.
Other way around, mate.
Yeah, Jango.
Jango was the bounty hunter that the clones were based.
Okay, so sorry. So Jango was a bounty hunter. He was never a Mandalorian. Somehow he was able to gain possession of the armor. And when Jango died.
It was Jango. Jango was one.
No, well, in Clone Wars, apparently they nipped that at the bud. Apparently, there's a scene where, and since now Ahsoka is in Mandalorian, it's now canon. Apparently, that there's a point where Kenobi goes to Mandalore, and he actually brings up the fact that he's already encountered a Mandalorian by the name of Jango, and I guess the leader of the Mandalorians already knew this guy because he says, "Oh, he wasn't a real Mandalore. He somehow acquired our armor, but he was never Mandalorian."
Ah,
crazy, right?
That means Boba's not one either.
That's right. If anything, he probably any like knowledge from fighting probably came from where he came from, which was the clone facility, and then adapted that to some of the tactics that he received from his quote unquote father.
That doesn't. Oh, you're talking about with Boba?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Hell, with his time away, he may have spent time on Mandalore at one point to learn how to fight like and survive like a Mandalore.
Yeah. There's some really great scenes. We get some of the recurring characters from season 1. We actually, and since I brought up Ahsoka, we actually had a couple of characters that came back from, I guess, the Clone Wars series and Rebels. So, and apparently, this may end up continuing the story for Rebels as well. Because apparently, so spoilers, because I just finished this episode and I found out another episode came up, where at least the last episode I watched, which was introducing Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
That episode was fucking awesome. And I felt like it was a mix between Western and Eastern movies, where for the Jedi, Ahsoka is kind of like a samurai, and somebody showed camera shots of or screenshots of an old samurai film with some of the screenshots with Ahsoka, and it looks so similar. And they have a moment where it's two lawmen are about to shoot each other at a standoff with a Mandalorian and this soldier. I thought that was really great. And like I said, we get some backstory with Grogu. And apparently, talking about Grogu a little bit, spoilers. Apparently Grogu was there during the Purge of the Jedi in Coruscant.
Oh.
At the Jedi Temple. And apparently, since that time, he's blocked. He's somehow subconsciously blocked his abilities, and they only surface at certain points. And Ahsoka brings up the fact, and I saw this coming. I think anybody saw this coming a mile away, where Ahsoka mentions that Grogu is like has kind of attached himself to Mandalore or Mando as his kind of guardian or parent, and has only used his powers to help his kind of surrogate father.
Okay.
In fact, when they're testing, when Ahsoka's testing his abilities with the Force, she's trying to get him to move a stone, and he doesn't. He pretends like he doesn't know how. But at one point, when Mando does it to show Ahsoka his powers, he pulls out this little sphere that Grogu has been taking off the ship, off one of the off one of the modules, and he's able to levitate it. And at one point, Ahsoka actually, and Mando, the reason Mando was looking for Ahsoka was so that way he could find a Jedi to take care of Grogu. But she mentioned, and I like, so a lot of people were mad about this, but I kind of agree with it. Where she was like, I can't train him. I can't at this point when it comes to his training. I've seen certain individuals go to the path of the dark side when separated by from their loved ones or someone who they've grown attached to, and I'm like, oh, she's talking about Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, she's talking about Anakin, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I can see this happening again. But with her story, it was cool that for the episode that we got to see her, it was really awesome. There was a couple of other episodes where Mando, in order to try to find the Jedi and more Mandalorians, he had to do kind of like a side quest, going to Tatooine, finding somebody who apparently bought the armor of Boba. And this individual was using it as not as like a bounty hunter, but using it as the sheriff / warden or kind of like guardian of this town. And I guess it was, I mean, if anything, it was a good way to kind of level the playing field, because they had a bunch of bandits, and every time they tried shooting him, the bullets just or the blast just bounced off of him. And there was actually a cool moment where the freaking speeder is flying away or driving away, and he pulls an Iron Man. He pulls an Iron Man where he takes the backpack rocket and bends down and fires it from his backpack at the speeder as they're trying to run away. I thought it was great. And at some point with that, after this quote unquote side mission, and by the way, after the whole thing, Mando ends up acquiring Jango / Boba's armor.
Okay.
Because he felt it was wrong that a person who wasn't Mandalore having that armor. He then goes to help this frog lady to head to another planet so she can get her eggs fertilized. And they end up being attacked by the New Republic. And then crashing into a ice planet. Which I will say, there's a moment where it makes you think of Aliens a little bit. In fact, there's a meme where you see Baby Yoda opening up an alien egg, and it's actually a face hugger, but he eats it. So a lot of people, I will say, a lot of people were kind of getting that idea if you have people drawing that. And they end up having to escape. And then at one point after that, they, like the next episode, apparently, as my headpiece falls, apparently Mando hears news of possible Mandalorian on the planet that he was actually going to help this lady. And he does find him, and it's one of the characters from either Clone Wars or Rebels. I can't remember which one. And they actually bring up something really interesting, because he's shocked to find out that these Mandalorians are taking off their helmets. Now, the first thing that they established in the first episode or the first season was he was told, like, his order was told to never take their helmets off.
Yeah.
That their faces should never be revealed. But apparently he's like shocked to find out that there are Mandalorian that are taking their helmets off, and he at first he's convinced that they're not Mandalore. And it turns out that he might be the one that's wrong. Because apparently they bring up that a while back in the history of Mandalore, there was a cult of zealots that took the practices of Mandalore way too seriously, to the point where it became just a cult, and they were banished from Mandalore.
Oh.
So, in some sense, the Mandalorian that we're following is quite possibly part of that sect of religious zealots.
Either that or he was raised in it.
Well, that's the thing, is like, because like when they first when they show flashbacks, he's being saved by a Mandalorian.
Mm.
And that's all he's known ever since he was rescued. So, but I'm really excited. And by the way, they also bring up with another mission, because they brought back some characters from season 1, which apparently one of the first characters they introduced for the first season that he captured in Carbonite. It makes a return. Apparently working off his debt, which I thought was funny, especially with like the entire episode where they're doing their mission. They're so fucking hard on this one guy, and like the boss is like, "Hey, if you do this, I'll take 5 years off your sentence," or sir, like, I'll take this amount of time off your sentence if you just do your job. It was good. But they start, I will say, it got intriguing with that episode, especially with I think that was episode 12? I think that might have been episode 12, where apparently a scientist that they introduced in the first episode or first season is on this hologram, and they're talking about experimentation with the quote-unquote M cells. And when I said M cells, I'm thinking, oh gosh, are we bringing that back, the midi-chlorian crap? Maybe. And like they're at this base, they find this laboratory, and there's these bodies inside these tubes, and they don't know what it is. So I'm kind of curious on what that is, like, for later episodes. In fact, I think they
Mandalorian cells.
Huh?
Might be Mandalorian cells.
No, well, here's the thing. Because they bring up the quote unquote asset, and the Empire has been calling Grogu the asset. In fact, the reason, so like the first season, your job or Mandalore's job is to, or Mando's job is to capture the Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
And they're experimenting on him. So
I forget, what is their race called?
I don't know. Actually, dude, they made a reference to Yoda too. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, Ahsoka makes a. She mentions I've only ever once seen somebody else by that shared or that was part of this race, and she references baby or not baby Yoda, but Yoda, and mentions actually I think it was, and I have to rewatch it because I think instead of calling him a Jedi Master, she just calls him a Jedi Knight.
Well, that's what he was. He was a Jedi Knight before he became one of the Masters.
Well, he was a master, but around the time that she was around.
Yeah.
So I was looking at some people's reactions. They thought it was funny that instead of calling him a master like he was, she just referred to him as a Jedi Knight.
Well, it could also be part of her rebellious nature because she considers what happened to Anakin partly Yoda's fault.
Yeah. Also, there's something else that like kind of bugged me, and I thought it would have added to like the kind of a joke where this magistrate from one of the episodes when they introduced Ahsoka, refers to her as a Jedi. And it would have been great if she would have pulled the line from Rebels where she's like, "I'm no Jedi." Or if anything, and thinking about it too, I think it just adds to the whole thing where it's like, she doesn't know. She doesn't know I'm not a Jedi. Let's freak her out. And oh gosh, but yeah, I will say the series so far has been really, really good.
And that's
And
good. Glad to hear it.
and and another thing too is, and it could just be because at this point I've noticed especially with a lot of TV shows nowadays, there is a lot of detail. There is, I mean, it could be like they're now putting more effort, but like with older TV shows where like space or something like that, it's like really crappy graphics, or it could just be like due to the times. But stuff like look at Star Trek, like old Star Trek, where it's like, or like Star Trek Generation, where around the same time that where those shows were coming out, there were like movies that had like really good space, space atmosphere when it comes to CGI and so on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like for the TV show, it's like really kind of like low budget. I don't know. It's just I gotta applaud because I gotta applaud Disney and Lucasfilms, because there is a lot of freaking detail and a lot of effort put into these episodes, especially when it comes to like the moments where they're in space. I freaking love it, and I always think, am I watching a movie right now? But at the same time, it's like, no, I'm watching a TV show. How is it this good?
Damn. How long are these episodes?
Actually, surprisingly, 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes for each episode. They're short, condensed stories. It's not like Game of Thrones where they're trying to put so much into the episode. It's like almost 45 minutes to an hour and a half. They're short, condensed stories, and I actually really enjoy it. It's basically to the point from start to finish.
Good. I get the feeling that when I eventually get around to am able to watch that show, I get the feeling some of the episodes are going to end up smacking a Firefly and whatnot.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So I think that's my reaction for at least so far from Mandalore. You want to
Okay.
talk about JoJo now?
Sure.
All right. So we talked about parts 1 through 3,
Mm-hmm.
and I just finished watching part 4.
Mm-hmm.
I just started watching part 5. Um, I think I mentioned it before when it comes to parts 1 and 3. There is an obvious change in detail when it comes to how it's animated. Like way different from part 1 and 2, and definitely different from part 3.
For sure.
And I think MJ mentioned this, or at least you and MJ mentioned it. There is a lot of color. Like it's very bright. Kind of I don't know best way to describe it. The color itself is like very bright when it comes to backgrounds.
But more
The
subdued when up close.
Yeah, and they still do the color change thing with some battles. I still don't get it.
Especially where Rohan's involved.
I'm trying to remember who Rohan is.
The one with Heaven's Door.
Heaven's Door.
The manga. The manga.
Oh yeah. I almost forgot about him. By the way, I mentioned I freaking I've messaged MJ like, dude, is that a Vic? Because I was watching the dub. I'm like, is that Vic Mignogna?
May have been. I don't know.
No, it
I haven't
was. I'm
watched
like,
the dub before.
I watched the dub. I'm just thinking, man, this makes me sad because freaking Vic is such an awesome voice actor.
You're talking about for Rohan, right?
Yeah, he played Rohan.
He did?
Yeah. Did you guys hear me opening a bag?
Holy shit! Yeah, he did.
So it's sad. It's sad that he was done dirty because he played a lot of good roles, and now I can add to that list of what roles he's played. But and man, some of the stuff that like happens in the show is really interesting. Still, again, I kind of feel bad that they aren't bringing back the whole Hamon thing, or at least adding to it.
Yeah, they won't.
Yeah, they pretty much forgot all about that. Jotaro was interesting, or at least his kind of role to play in this whole series, kind of as like a support role this time. I did. By the way, I didn't. It might just be me, but I did not like the color change for Star Platinum.
No.
Where it was like a dark purple and black to a light violet and white. I did not like this one bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, though I'm not gonna lie, I prefer that freaking Jotaro's outfit in Part 4.
Are you seeing it might be because of his outfit?
Maybe.
I mean, honestly, it would have still been cool to have him wear black. But I mean, if anything, I mean, when it comes down to like the whatever the people wear, I mean, it doesn't make any sense of why the friggin' stand changes color. You know what I mean? That's why I mentioned like it's just a different kind of concept when it comes to Part 4. And we had a lot of interesting characters.
That part gets pretty messed up.
Oh, by the way, hold on. I gotta read what I wrote to when I first. I'm gonna find it. When I first started watching this. Hold on. I'm looking for my exact reaction. Because
Yeah, I have to
I
go up
used
a good bit.
because I used all caps for that. Where is it? So okay, there's the episode 6 one. Okay, maybe it went a little bit too far. Okay, so this is after I watched episode 2. You might remember this. All right, so watching the second episode, first thing that goes through my mind after the first couple of minutes, what the living hell did I just fucking watch? That sick bastard killed that puppy in such a horrible way. What the fuck? And then so I'm now on episode 6. My reaction for the first 2 minutes of the episode: what the fuck? Who wrote this? Why is there so much cruelty to animals in the first 6 epic episodes? Jesus Christ, this is awful. I've noticed that there's a lot of cruelty to animals in that series. First, the poor dog in freaking part 1 that gets thrown in the incinerator. Oh gosh, then
Danny.
huh?
Freaking Danny.
Yeah, Danny. Then freaking then we had what happened to Iggy. I'm not saying before he died. I'm saying like before he dies, where he ends up losing his paw.
Yeah.
He did get a comeback and freaking bit the beak off that fucking falcon, pet shop.
Yeah.
Or was it hawk? I think it was a hawk. And then obviously he dies when trying to save Polnareff. Then we got for part 4 the dog that gets killed by the sand user. Angelo. Oh my gosh, the guy was fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Like one of the creepy characters.
One of
I will
many.
say his comeuppance was great. His comeuppance was fucking awesome.
Oh hell yeah.
He became a national landmark. Angelo, was it the Angelo Stone?
Yeah.
And I love like there was a couple of times where Josuke's walking around, hey Angelo, and you hear him mumbling or grumbling in the rock. Oh, I thought that was great. And then oh gosh, what was the little kid's name in that series? I'm trying to remember his name. The short kid.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Hold on.
I will say his character as the story progressed was actually really Chuichi? Koichi. How he grew stronger as a character was actually really cool. Where
Yeah,
it's like it's
one of my all-time favorites.
Especially when it comes to his stand, where at first when it first manifests, it's just Nick, and as the story progresses, his stand slowly evolves and becomes stronger.
Let's kill the hoe.
Oh yeah, like was it Phase 3?
Yes.
Reverb 3?
Yeah. I keep forgetting Reverb is
So
English.
I will say the trade-off. It kind of sucks for the trade-off. It was like super strong, but unfortunately, its range like freaking dipped.
It became a close range fighter. What do you expect?
Yeah, because Reverb 2 was it like 30 meters for its range, and Reverb 3 was 5 to 6.
And that's partly due to not just the strength of the power, but also due to it needing to actually hit whatever it is it's trying to use the power on.
Yeah, which was it 3 freeze? I like that ability when they introduced it. That was so awesome.
Now I do have to ask when it comes to Phase 3.
Yeah.
After it says "Let's kill the hoe," does it ever say "bitch"?
I thought I heard that when
Okay.
I saw the episode. I think I might have heard that.
Okay. That's cool because
Also,
that's what it tended to say right after saying let's kill the hope.
also some of the character development that we've seen, like character interactions end up growing like through the episode. Like, the freaking stalker girl. I can't remember her name, but
The
her stand was
original
her hair.
freaking yandere.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I never expected her to have a happy ending.
Yukiko Yamagishi.
Yes, I was thrown in a loop
When
when it came.
when he actually developed legit feelings for her instead of Stockholm
Yes,
Syndrome style one.
and not only that, but when it comes to the whole Cinderella thing, I was like, that was actually a good episode.
Mm-hmm. Yukiko changed for the better.
Yeah,
Everyone did. Every one of the main cast did.
yeah. By the way, I think probably one of the best takedowns, or at least two of the best takedowns when it comes to enemy stands, have to be Chili Pepper and Killer Queen. For me, anyway.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. Even though the asshole deserved it, the way
he died was horrible.
the way what's his name's brother went out.
Oh shit! Yeah,
he didn't deserve that. He did not deserve to go out like that.
Oh yeah. And yeah, as much of an asshole he was, I kind of understand his motives. I really did. But I agree. The way he went out was really fucking bad.
Let's see. What was Bad Company's English name again? What was it? Worst Company?
Worst? No, I think it was just Bad Company.
No, they had to change it because Bad Company is the name of is copyrighted.
The game?
No. The music group. The music group, Bad Company. Which is where it got its name from. I think they had to change it to Worst Company.
Also, apparently, Killer Queen, for the English dub, it's called Deadly Queen.
Yep.
I didn't get that. I wonder if it's because of the copyright for, I'm assuming there's a song called Killer Queen.
It's by Queen. Yeah.
Yeah. So they couldn't use Killer Queen.
I'm honestly surprised they were able to keep the other names for that stand. The other, like the attack names, Heart Attack, Sheer Heart Attack, and Bites the Dust.
So it was called Bad Company.
Huh.
Originally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find if okay, it is called Worst Company.
Okay.
Used in English. There we go. So yeah, it is called Worst Company in the English dub.
What'd you think of Superfly? Real quick, I have to ask. What'd you think of Superfly?
Superfly?
Mm-hmm. The stand, Superfly.
I'm trying to remember which one that was.
The electrical tower.
Oh gosh. You know what? I'm just gonna say that's a fate worse than death.
Yeah.
when it comes to that tower. Good lord. And I'm gonna say, honestly, I'm hoping the alien guy and that stand user became friends.
Right.
Because if anything, that would probably make that punishment more tolerable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I could kind of see them becoming friends because they were hanging out near the end of the episode. And then we had that biker guy with his stand. I can't remember what it
wouldn't hit an injured man. You're not injured.
Oh yeah, and I love that. I love that bit where he's like, he has his adoring fans. He's like, you can't hit me. I'm injured. Like, no, I just healed you like 10 seconds ago. Like, oh, and then it's like the realization, like,
Hey, I feel good. I feel so much better now. Wait a
like,
second. Oh,
he's like,
shit.
oh, yeah. He's like, okay, that's good. And then starts beating the living shit out of him, throws him out the window. And then ends up like in order to save was it Toichi or
No,
Koichi?
it was to save Rohan.
Save Rohan and Koichi. No, I'm saying like later on when they came across two other stand users.
I thought it was when they were just dealing with Hot Feet or Little Feet.
Oh yeah, Hot Feet. Or is it? Yeah, it is Little Feet. No, okay.
The original name was Little Feet.
So there's a moment. There's another moment where that guy gets a redeeming moment where they face off against the newer stand users that the father of Kira created.
I
Actually,
hated
one
him
of them.
more. I hated him so much more.
What, the dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Oh my gosh! Actually, his comeuppance was great. Where he has where Josuke steals his phone, and when Kira's shooting the bubbles, and he kind of directing the Kira to where his father's at and blows him up. What was his reaction like? I'm pretty sure he's in hell. Oh gosh. But yeah, we had like near the end we had like a couple of other stand users. One of them, or at least one of them, was actually a sentient stand named Trick Trap, which I fucking hated that thing.
Oh,
I hated that thing. That almost got Rohan.
Turn around.
I love the way they beat him.
You shouldn't let others see me.
The thing was creepy.
Uh-huh.
I'm like thinking, like, dude, his design looked almost like Gollum to some extent.
Yeah.
Make him look a little bit more pale and a little bit more creepier. That would have done it for me. But yeah, the way they take him out was actually really good. And I like Rohan's like reaction where he's being taken out. And he's like, where are they taking me? Like, I'm not sure whether it's heaven or hell, but I'll write it down for you. And writes down hell as he's dragged away. Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
And then the backstory for like Josuke himself is actually an interesting character. Though, I'm going to say this. I think one of my like early reactions was, you guys are trying to make me hate Joseph even more. I did not like Joseph for part 2 that much. I liked oh gosh, what's the Italian character's name? The Zeppeli character.
Caesar.
I like Caesar. Between the two of them, Caesar was my favorite.
Yeah.
I liked oh gosh. I like Smokey. I thought he was a great character. I did not care for Joseph. He was kind of a prick in part 2.
Yeah, I didn't start warming up to Joseph until at
Part 3?
least I'm talking about in part 2. I didn't start warming up to him.
Part 3.
Hold on.
Okay.
I didn't start warming up to him in part 2 until around the time of the minecart, and I was like, okay, that was actually really cool of him. He's still a prick in my eyes, and then it wasn't until Caesar's death and his reaction that I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good with him now.
I mean, me personally, I mean, that was a great reaction to Caesar's death, but at the same time, I was still kind of like, dude, dude's still kind of a prick. It was still like till part 3 when we had a more seasoned Joseph that I started to like him.
Yeah.
And he was funny. He was actually his reaction for a lot of the shit that was going on was actually really great. And also, I watched some of the takes for the Japanese version where he's like, "Oh no, oh my god, oh shit." Well, I like that. I thought that was great. And then we get to part 4, where we find out that not only was Joseph a prick, but he was a cheating asshole.
Yeah.
And apparently, and not only that, but a hypocrite. A fucking hypocrite. Because in part 3, he's all bitching and moaning about the freaking Japanese. And who does he get on with? Somebody who is Japanese.
Yeah. Shortly before the events of part 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because around the time Josuke is already born, he's like several years old. And the time he gets sick is around the time the Star Crusaders are going after Dio. That's right. Fuck. And Jotaro apparently is the one that found out about this.
He found out from Joseph himself.
Yeah. Who, at this point, and I will say, there are times where, like with, for part 4, there were some good moments with him.
Yeah. Like what he did with the baby.
I will say that at this point, they were making out like he's this old, senile old man. But
you see my cane?
Yeah, but like there were parts, like later parts after that, he seemed sensible to some extent.
Oh, I mean that's kind of what Alzheimer's is like, man. There are moments of clarity.
Unfortunately, we didn't see much of him, so it's like we didn't really get to see much of it, or at least it put into use.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But I mean that's Jotaro and Josuke and all the others are like he's too old. He needs to stay out of this.
Yeah. And we have that moment where Josuke is trying to kind of, I don't know if you could say, kind of connect with his father. I mean, the first, like when they are, walking in town, he's basically like, "Look, I don't think my mom should know that you're here."
Yeah,
because that's just gonna throw her in a loop and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "If Phayn would you see, get this business done, and you go on your way." He's basically like, "I want nothing from you."
Yeah.
Though the last bit was great. The last bit was really funny, where he stole his money.
Like, think of it as an allowance. All the allowances you missed.
You cheaped out, old man. I mean, and let's face it, like in an earlier episode, Joseph did freaking, use up a lot of his son's freaking money to get all that baby shit.
Mm-hmm. They shouldn't have sent him on that. To do that. One, because
also,
he's a senile old man. Two, because Susie Q and her butler took care of Jotaro's mom. I can't remember her name right now.
Huh. So he would know nothing, and he's kind of out of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when like the freaking store clerk is roping him into buying all this shit. He kind of gives up and like, "Oh, I'll just get everything."
Right.
Character deaths. I want to talk about. Let's talk about character deaths.
Real quick before we go into that, I do have one last question. As far as things that could potentially threw you off, like what? Pearl Jam and his stand.
Pearl Jam. Oh gosh, which one was that again?
Well, I mean, Pearl Jam and his stand user.
Oh, and that's another band thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember what it was called in English. Hold on.
Pearl Jam. Hold on. I'm looking it up too.
Pole Jam, Opal Jam.
Oh, you're talking about the Cook.
Yeah.
Okay, so at first I was gonna be under the impression that this was some kind of
Another bad
like
guy.
another bad guy. I mean, yeah, it kind of creeped me out, like the way that those things look. But I was actually I was like, this is actually kind of cool that you have a guy that is like not only like he's not evil, but he's using his stand to help people.
Yeah, even though it's disturbing how it helps.
Oh, yeah, it's really fucking disturbing. But at the same time, it was actually really cool. And the whole Italian thing is actually really great.
Yeah.
Though I'm like thinking, I gotta ask, does this guy does Pearl Jam, or does the user for Pearl Jam, does he ever like pop up in part 4 or part 5?
No.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
It would have. No. You only see 3 characters from previous parts.
Now, also, is there ever a reference?
That's all I'm saying.
Besides the beginning, because I've seen so I think they're fake, but is there any besides the beginning? Is there any other references to Dio, or any like somehow Dio survived his fate?
What, for part 5?
Yeah,
no, Dio's dead.
Dio's dead. That would have been interesting. I mean, it would have been crazy to find out he made another comeback.
Nope, you're just dealing with Dio's offspring.
Which honestly, by the way, and I also noticed too that like when just for a quick second to talk about part 5, whenever Golden Wind attacks, he says the same thing that Dio and his stand would say.
Muda Muda.
Yep, Muda Muda, which is useless.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is actually.
I mean, there's a reason for it.
And I honestly, I'm not gonna knock it. It's a great touch.
Yeah.
To the character.
Yeah. There's a reason for it. If you don't know what that is, then I ain't gonna tell you.
And his stand is kind of like has almost the same color scheme as the world.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah. But oh gosh. So
on to the deaths.
Okay. Actually, if we can bring up another interesting character. Okay. Oh gosh, what's his name? The middle schooler with Harvest.
Oh, I hated that kid. I hated him. I could not stand him one bit, but he did not deserve to die that way. He did not deserve that.
Okay, so we're both in agreement. Yeah, that kid, when they introduced him in this episode with him, I was just like, oh, this kid's fucking obnoxious, and I'm waiting for his comeuppance. But yeah, I agree with you. The way he dies is so fucking horrible.
But at the same time, it was needed because for some reason, Josuke and I can never remember his name. The one that uses the hand.
Yeah.
They somehow still are friends with him.
I guess if anything, it's more of tolerance.
You know what? It might be greed.
Or if anything, like even if it was
we could still use him. Let's keep him around.
I mean, if anything, even if they had a bad experience with him, it was kind of like more because all the kid. I mean, if anything, the kid wanted friends and probably didn't know how to deal with friends or have friends. So
plus, he learned his lesson the hard way, not to mess with them.
Yeah. So, if anything, it not just with tolerance, but just them trying to be friendly with him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like there are times where they did get something out of it, where like they were getting like tea or coffee from when they were sneaking into the the gym room. What other? Oh crap. Other deaths. The stand user for that had Cinderella.
Oh, the beauty parlor tech.
Yeah. Freaking A.
Lady.
I will say, honestly, because I haven't watched all of it, and I for some reason, and I think I was naive because I was thinking, okay, maybe somehow this is like really short, but at the same
Yeah, the
time, I was
Cinderella
thinking,
thing is done really fast.
yeah, because it's like off screen. Oh, he changed his face, like killed somebody, took their face, and killed her.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like completely off screen.
Yep.
Some of the I'm trying to think what else. What other deaths did we have?
There were so many, man.
Yeah, there were. Oh, we forgot to talk about that con artist. The con artist dude who like showed up a couple times.
The one talking about the one whose stand causes people who are feeling guilty to be weighed down by the guilt.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think that was a great
A great introduction to Phase 1.
To Phase 1, yes. It was a great introduction to Phase 1. Just like with the yandere girl was an introduction for Phase
which created yet another landmark. I think it was the third or fourth landmark.
The bouncing rock.
Yeah.
Or was it the Boing Rocks?
Boing Rocks.
Yes, I thought that was a great title. And then, in fact, they made another landmark with the tower.
Yep.
The Tower Man. Oh, that was great.
Oh yeah, there is one other question.
What?
What'd you think of Rat and its user Bug Eater?
Are you talking about the rat or the two rat? It was an interesting. I will say it was an interesting episode, but it was something that when it came to them explaining the fact that animals can use stands, I think it was like, we already know that. But yeah. I will say the way it used its stand was very fucking horrific.
Right?
Really fucked up.
So much.
By the way, we don't want to go into detail. We asked you guys to watch it. I know we're talking about spoilers and shit about the show, but oh my gosh.
It's one of those things that you need to see it to fully grasp why it's just like, this is fucked up, or why it's disturbing.
Yeah. It's a whole nother level of effed up. But the way they combat it though was actually interesting.
Yeah.
And as powerful as Josuke's was it Diamond? What's his stand called?
It's originally Crazy Diamond, if I recall correctly.
Okay. So I'm going to use that name. And so as powerful as Crazy Diamond is, called
Shining Diamond.
Yeah, that's the one. So as powerful as Shining Diamond is in the anime, where he's able to not only heal people, but able to whatever
it's a restoration ability.
Yeah. In fact, if anything, he's able to change it too, which goes into more detail as future episodes, as the story progresses.
I mean, the perfect example of it is how he dealt with Angelo. He broke apart that rock that he was cowering up against, and
Oh no! Or what about
restored it around him.
when the final fight with Kira?
Yeah.
Where he was kind of using his own blood as a homing beacon and shooting shards of glass that had his blood stained onto them, using them as projectiles or homing projectiles.
Yep. Well, I mean, he couldn't get close.
That was a perfect way of utilizing that.
Mm-hmm.
But with that fight, it was Jotaro and Josuke, and as powerful as Josuke's ability is, there's one flaw. He can't heal himself.
Nope.
So the setup is Jotaro becomes the decoy, and Josuke has to be one to take the shot. And at that point, it's like Josuke has to really nut up at that point because Jotaro is kind of making himself a target, while Jotaro has to make sure that he so that way once they finish this off, let's say if Jotaro gets hit, he can heal him. Which I'm surprised, with how powerful Jotaro is now, I'm surprised that he didn't just use the world multiple times going up the hill to take down the rat. You know what I mean?
Nah, the poison from the bullet would have.
I know
wouldn't be able to be remedied. They tried it.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, not only finding out that it was not one but two rats that had the same stand.
Yeah.
Which, that alone is effed up.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we had Chili Pepper. We had who else that were enemies? Whoa! By the way, what'd you think of the? Because I thought this threw me in the loop, especially with the last segment of the story when Kira, I guess the arrow somehow inserts itself into his flesh, and his stand gains that new ability.
Yep. But it's not quite Requiem because it didn't pierce the
stand.
About that. Yeah.
So I kind of know about Requiem, but
okay.
I mean, I haven't gone far to see anything involving Requiem, but I've heard of it.
You won't for a good bit.
But yeah, apparently his stand got a third ability, which was Bite the Dust.
Yep, Bites the Dust.
Which, another song.
Mm-hmm.
Another one bites the dust. Which I gotta say, this one was interesting. This ability that he apparently was able to achieve is really fucked up. And for those who haven't watched the show, basically, and he does it on his quote unquote son, the son of the father that, or the son of the kid, or of the guy that he killed to steal his face. He killed the kid, and when he gains the new ability, he apparently attaches the new ability, Bites the Dust, to the kid. And I guess the basic setup is the kid ends up going through this exact loop in time.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who uncovers the name, or if he tells anybody Kira's true identity, they die.
And it's not just that. I mean, like it's even
And as
if
long as long as that as long as the ability is active, with every loop, their death is inevitable. Even if somehow the kid changes things where he doesn't interact, like oh my gosh, Rowan or Rohan. He's like the first one to go in this loop. And even like when the kid like tries to do something different, like doesn't meet Rohan, he still dies.
Yeah.
So, and then it turns out like after that, the kid ends up meeting the rest of the group and gets all of them killed. So he has to come up with a way to save them. Now we'll say the kid got creative when it came to that, because which we should talk about the cat, because
Yeah.
apparently we end up getting another stand user who's an animal. It's this cat that snuck into the household that Kira freaking took over, and the cat was the stand user. And when it died, apparently, like in the basement, it was killed by like a piece of like what happened to it? I think it got stabbed or something, and
Yeah.
when it was buried, it apparently became its stand, which I thought was weird.
Well, no, he didn't. Killer Queen didn't take on the stand's properties.
Huh?
Yeah, if that's what you were meaning.
No, I'm talking about the cat. The cat died, and apparently, where its body was buried, the flower stand, grew, and apparently that was not only the cat but the stand that it had.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, the cat and the stand became one, or one entity. Yeah. And it was visible. It was visible by humans.
It was definitely interesting.
Yeah, it was one of those stands that kind of broke the rules a little bit. But the way the kid ends up taking out Kira to kind of stop the loop, so that way nobody dies, was actually really creative. He ends up, getting the cat stand and using its abilities, which I guess it weaponizes compressed air or pressurized air to attack its opponents. And he uses it on Kira, which I thought was actually a really cool idea. At the same time, though, the kid is like, there is a point where like time's almost up for Rohan, and the kid is like watching like in the background and sees Kira just standing there watching him, waiting for him to approach so he can attack him. And I will say it sucks. Not only were they able to defeat Kira when it comes to that ability, or at least stop its effects, it unfortunately set up a opportunity for Kira. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to not only having the cat, but able to combine both their abilities, making bubbles of explosions or bubble explosions.
Yeah, that you can't really see unless you are just really focusing your eyesight.
Yeah. So, what? Oh, by the way, what do you think of
with all of the bullshit that happened in the final number of episodes? The way Kira goes out is bullshit.
Oh,
with all the things that
I don't
Karen
know.
needed to account for. The way he went out, the way he actually went out, was bullshit.
Are you talking about how he died?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, it was. It was hilarious, but at the same
I
time,
mean,
it's like,
honestly,
no.
with how that dude boasted about how powerful he was, to go out in such a bitch way was freaking awesome. Actually, I don't think I could say it like that. How he went was, it was hilarious. That was such a friggin' like just a slap in the face.
So I will say what happened to him after his death.
Was great.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like what oh gosh, I can't remember her name. I like what she says to him. He's like, "Where are they taking me?" And he's like, "Well, where I don't know, but wherever you're going, you're not gonna have peace."
Yeah.
That was a great line. That was such a great line. Oh, all in all, that series, I will say, part 4 was really great. Also, I want to talk about the intros for a second, because something I noticed, especially when it comes to, because we've gone back and forth where it's like very action packed for each. Like, okay, like for instance, for part 1, it was a very action packed intro, and that was oh gosh, what's it called?
Talking part 1?
Yeah, the intro for part 1, Joe intro. I'm looking it up right now. Sono Chino Sadame.
Yep. Sono Chino Sadame.
That one was very action packed. With part 2, it had more of a kind of jazz feel to it.
Yeah.
And then I've noticed for part 3, both intros are more action packed. And then going on to part 4, it's kind of going back to that sort of very like calm, very jazzy feel to the intro, which I honestly I thought was really cool. And at first I thought it was going to be very like, though I felt I was kind of naive thinking this, because I was thinking, okay, maybe it's like kind of calm to some extent. Then I see the freaking dog getting killed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a big fan of the first 2 openings.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then I noticed for the intro 3, they pulled a Dio from part 3, where they change it up.
Yeah, I told you they will
introduce
do that from
ability.
now on.
Oh gosh, then I'll have to expect that when it comes to future episodes.
Oh, you're gonna love it for part 5.
Oh, I'm already loving it. I'm already on part 5. I don't want to talk
Well,
about
I
much
mean,
about
as
it right
far
now.
as that kind of thing goes.
Some of the I've noticed, like when it comes to a lot of these newer characters, especially when it comes to the mafioso characters that are at least part of the team. When it comes to some of their episodes, or like when they first introduce their episodes, or when they're combating a particular stand user, they've been like one by one giving us introductions to each character.
Mm-hmm. But as far as part 4's opening go, like I did, even though I say that I don't care for the first couple openings in part 4, Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town really sets the tone.
Yeah.
For it, and is the perfect name for the first opening.
Yeah. Also, they also did a animation change for the first intro when they start showing Koichi's stand,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was a great touch. So I would say, out of all the stands, which one do you think was probably the like when it comes to abilities wise your favorite
Oof, that's a
for
tough
part
one.
4? Because
That's a tough
I know there's a lot.
It's honestly, it's hard to say because there's so many good ones. I can definitely tell you my one of my least favorites.
Oh, vegans here.
One of my least favorites would have to be Jonkin Boy
Oh, which
and
one was
his
that again?
stand,
Boys.
Boys to Men, otherwise known as Boy Man.
It's actually boy to man.
No, in Japanese it's Boys to Men.
As far as I'm concerned, it's boys to man. Whereas the band is actually boys to men.
Yeah, but in English it was Boy Man.
No, that's the localized version. Although
Yeah, that's why I said in English.
okay, because there's a bit like the copyrighted name is Oh, did Rob drop?
Yeah, give him a moment.
All right, but yeah, the localized name is Boy Man. Although like it's the like name that like I guess was written. I guess if I'm right, even in Japanese was like a boys to man.
Mm-hmm. Boys to Man.
Boys to Man, whereas the actual band is called Boys to Men.
Yeah.
That's like change.
Mm-hmm. And to get around it, they just took the two literally by giving it to boys.
Yeah. I don't know.
I did not care for it. I did not care for that character nor his stand.
I honestly didn't like that episode. One of those slower episodes, in my opinion.
I'm trying. What was his abilities? I can't remember.
If the person he challenges to a game of rock paper scissors loses,
oh,
yeah,
him.
Jonkin is the Japanese name for rock paper scissors.
Oh
Yep.
gosh.
I honestly cannot.
Yeah, but they called it Rochambeau in the show, or
That's
for the English
right.
stuff anyway. They actually called it Rochambeau.
Hey Rob, if you think honestly some of the localized names are funny. Okay, I don't know if this will be spoilers, but like remember when we were talking Aiden, when we were talking about D4C, which is like part 7? Should I say the localized name of it?
Go for it. We've said it numerous times at this point, even in podcast.
Okay, all right. So the full name is Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, and the localized version, the localized name is Filthy Acts at a Reasonable Price.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'd like to see them try and do that for whenever they animate part 7.
Yeah, I haven't heard much on like Stone Ocean getting like animated, so I almost feel like it's probably gonna be like another year till like maybe we may get like some announcement.
Most likely.
So I'm as we're talking, I'm like looking through YouTube stuff. What'd you guys think of the puppet guy?
Puppet guy.
The guy that had the wooden puppets.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name. I've been trying since since you first brought up the guy with the lock.
Oh, that guy?
The kid that they ended up fighting not too long after.
With the lock?
No, not with the lock. The one who had the puppets.
I don't think I can remember.
Yeah, he was the short kid who had the ability.
He's the one who introduced Koichi to Rohan.
Yeah.
Oh, Hazamada.
Yeah, and he I guess his stand was the puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his stand, if I'm right, was like his copyrighted name is Surface. Where if I'm right,
yes,
it's called Show Off. If I'm right, the localized name.
I think that's what they used.
Surface is the name. Localized name is Show Off. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
And yes, the mannequin is the
Which,
the
thinking
same.
about it, because they chopped the thing up into little pieces, that kid would be dead.
Uh-huh.
That kid should have
Well,
been dead.
it's kind of automated. It's an automatic stand, so no, he wouldn't.
I honestly don't know much about that stand. By
It
the way,
basically it just whenever it's being used, it just matches the appearance, takes on the appearance, matching their voice, mannerisms, and clothing, except for the screw in
Actually,
the
if
center of the
anything,
forehead.
well, I guess if
That's
anything, it
it.
also matches personality.
yeah. By the way, oh sorry.
Because it was almost an exact replica of Josuke when Josuke comes across it.
Mm-hmm. Only difference is the screw in the forehead. That's it.
There's one thing I kind of want to clear up. Like, although I don't know if like you guys think this, the man who saved Josuke.
Okay.
Yeah, I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah, I was kind
Go
of
ahead. Go
curious
ahead.
about that because it's never mentioned. Like after that one story, of,
never-
like why he has his hair like that.
The reason
It's never mentioned afterwards of who the guy might be.
why is twofold.
Well, I'll let you. I'll let you. At least want to see what Aiden thinks.
What?
One, he hold on a second. Ooh.
I also kind of. Well,
That was the screen.
you good there, Aiden?
I'm good. So if memory serves, he was intending it to have been
Josuke?
Josuke
Okay, perfect.
being sent back to save his former self during the Bites the Dust.
Okay, that's
But
something that.
by the time he was writing it, he was like, "No, this is going to end up being the end. This is going to end up being brought up at the end as for who that is, and it's not going to flow too well with it. Combined with the fact that it's going to be it's already confusing enough as it is. So I'm just going to leave it vague.
Okay, that's something I want to clear up. Apparently, that's not true. And Araki has actually spoken about this in a 1999 interview there was some interview that he definitely conducted on the subject matter. He even when he was asked if of course if that actually had anything to do with like that was any foreshadowing. He says that no, that the guy was just a good Samaritan that actually just helped Josuke. Also, there are a few things that there are just some tiny details that definitely just indicate honestly that it's honestly not Josuke.
I mean, when we see the character resembles, or at least when it comes to clothing and I mean, we don't see his face, but with the way his clothes are, and it's almost similar to Josuke.
It's actually a bit different if you look at least a little bit, since it looks like more in all black compared to where Josuke is a little bit more different to that. Also, there are lines in the manga from that where even Rohan actually states that Josuke's hairstyle is 20 or 30 years out of fashion, where at the time of probably where Josuke was a kid, he'd actually still that was a popular hairstyle.
Yeah.
And I think I could actually look. I think I could actually look find the interview or at least find some quotes. If I could just I don't know where I could find the interview. Although if I could maybe post a screenshot of this somehow, I'll maybe send it through the Discord to try to show it. But because he's actually some of this is some quotes from what he said in this interview. Although I can't find the actual link to the interview, but this is just just some quotes from it. If I could at least send it. But yeah, apparently that's kind of not exactly what he intended. It was just nothing more but then just a good Samaritan.
That's what he ended up deciding on.
I mean, if anything, like the way he looks, I mean, even though we don't see his eyes, the shape of his face is almost similar to Josuke.
Okay, there it is. If you want, If you want to, like,
And I'm
also
looking.
show-
By the way, and I'm looking. By the way, I have an image like in front of me showing the flashback and Josuke, and it looks really similar.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Rob, if you look in
Yeah,
your
but-
Discord, I posted it in the general chat. If because you guys talked about it, or do you want me to like just read it off?
In fact, he looks bloodied.
Okay, the blood pattern is definitely like, well, for one, in the manga, it's definitely different. It's mostly like, if I'm right, only in the anime where it's actually like similar.
So there has to be a reason of why he's all bloodied.
Well, it's probably really like, I'd say the only thing really going for it is despite the fact that like really the kid was a delinquent, like he still had a heart of gold, which seems to honestly be what like Josuke kind of like the example Josuke kind of tried to follow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll read it off. So, an interview conducted, part 4 is going to be quite long, isn't it? No, well, I haven't organized it or anything. How about little hints like when Josuke met his past self? Oh, that's not related. It's not related. That's just Josuke's memory. I'll definitely try to see if I can maybe find that interview. Although, like, it maybe should at least be a little easier to find. That's just honestly some of the things that was posted on, like, it's just some of the lines that I posted to, like, kind of clear that up. Since that's definitely a common like misconception about that, and there's quite a lot of them. Like I also did kind of want to talk about a few of them. Like I also touched upon a few of them briefly, like when you guys were talking about part 3, like with Dio supposedly having the power of every stand, which if I'm right, there's like not much source behind it, and even he's Araki has talked about like that the World and Star Platinum were the first 2 stands he decided on, so he already decided early on those 2 stands.
Oh, by the way, looking at Chili Pepper, is it just me or does he resemble Frieza?
No, nope, it's not you. There's already been countless jokes about it.
I was thinking like, when I saw his thing, I'm like, dude, give him the freaking like alien feet that Frieza has, and get rid of the beak and just give him regular lips. He just looks like Frieza.
Yeah. All right, let's see. There's definitely more. Oh yeah, by the way. So, what would you say is your favorite part at this point, Rob? After seeing part 4.
Oh gosh, that's hard.
Okay, maybe
I like part 1 because that's basically it sets the groundwork for the show.
Yeah.
But everything that's been introduced in part 1 and 2 end up getting freaking kind of thrown
What I
overboard. Once they start introducing the stands.
Well, yeah.
What I miss.
So,
I think if anything, I like part 1 because it sets the groundwork for the series itself, and then part 3 so far because it starts introducing what becomes more prominent within the series.
that was definitely something I disliked, like with just them getting rid of like Hamon altogether.
Yeah.
Although at least it still works. By the way,
The only time it ever comes back is when we have moments with Joseph
yeah,
in part 3.
yeah. Oh, by the way, Aiden, the only thing you missed out on is I posted a picture of at least some quotes from the interview in the Discord general chat.
Okay. Well, the thing you have to know is he has actually stated that he purposefully left it vague in the end and left it to the viewer to draw their own conclusion.
I don't know if that's true because like he did speak out about it, like saying, "I'll even actually."
Yes, but he has said it.
Like no, I haven't organized it or anything else. How about little hints like when Josuke met his past self? Oh no, oh that's not related. It's not related. That's just Josuke's memory. That's if I'm right, that was like a 1999 interview, like around the time when he was still like writing part 4. Oh yeah, but there was also something else I wanted to talk about, which I have forgot. Oh yeah, by the way, Rob, I was gonna oh wait, yeah. So you guys, well, I don't know if Aiden might know why like Araki kind of like decided to like switch like from Hamon to then like stands.
Yeah, I've been kind of curious about that.
So the idea was he didn't kind of just wanted to like to just because basically how like by the end of part two, like with them with like Joseph kind of defeating cars and like in that sort of way, he didn't just want like honestly like just power levels to just honestly just get crazy or honestly like characters just get more powerful like Dragon Ball or Naruto or anything like that. So he decided to honestly like kind of because then it like would like because then you have to like kind of top some other like villain in that sort of way. So he decided to like go with stanzas. Then like it'd be a little easier to write them as well. Like then like anyone can pretty much be a stand user and like honestly
And if anything,
strategy.
each one has its own strengths and weaknesses and ways to combat them.
Yeah, rather than it just being like full on, just like somebody just getting more stronger over time as the story progresses. Because from what I've seen, it can get repetitive, and that's like kind of why he wanted to switch to stands.
I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by
And
the
it
way,
did land. Changing it to stands also went well with how he envisioned the final fight for part 3, because he starts working on each part by first creating how it's going to end.
Yeah.
And working from there.
By the way, Rob, how far are you into part 5? Since I did hear like you were kind of like delved into part 5, just a little bit.
Part 11, or episode 11.
All right. So, all right, because
I'm slowly but surely getting through it.
Yeah, no, because I definitely want to discuss this topic, and I feel like it also be like me and Aiden have discussed this like off stream, so I'm definitely just wondering your thoughts because I know I definitely want to talk at least about just one versus battle between just two characters in JoJo though. I'll save that maybe for another time. Yeah, I will.
Wait, what battle?
I don't want to
It's
say.
one he's come up with in his head.
Yeah, it's interesting, although I won't say it because I feel like that'd be a spoiler for part 5 because of who the character is.
By the way, do we besides like because we had a small moment where they showed Jotaro? Do we ever get more interaction with Jotaro?
Nope.
No.
Just that one in the beginning.
Yeah, the only time we will ever see Jotaro again is if they animate either part 6 or Eyes of Heaven.
Pretty much just part 6, and even then, like Jotaro's there like for a bit. Almost definitely tempted to say more, although I don't know how if it'll like count as spoilery.
Only reason I bring up Eyes of Heaven is there's always the chance that it could get animated into a series of movies.
I'd see something like that happening probably after they finish animating part 7.
Yeah, because from
while.
what I understand, Jolian is still being worked on, which is part 8.
I'm definitely wondering if he's going to continue writing JoJo after part 8.
Who knows?
Since he is getting pretty old.
He's been doing this since like the late 60s, I want to say.
60s? I thought it was. Well, I could be wrong. I think it was
maybe early 70s.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I think that's actually
early 70s. Early 70s, because the ending tracks that we get in each part, or for the anime, is music he was listening to at the time he was writing, creating the story, creating the part.
Yeah, that adds up.
By the way, is it just me, or the kid that we were talking about that had the stand? Was it Boy Man? Is it just me, or is his design almost similar to Polnareff?
He did look somewhat like young Polnareff. Like,
I'm just saying because his hair isn't kind of as like a freaking tower as Polnareff's, but it's white. He had his costume is black with the one strap over the shoulder.
I'd say maybe his clothing choice would make him look more closer to Polnareff, although that's about it.
Oh, I did hear. By the way, if we can talk about 5 for a second, I did hear Polnareff make an appearance.
Should we tell him or actually?
Well, we can hold off.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you guys said no. So I'm assuming yes.
It's not a yes or a no.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't honestly. I'll just say don't want to disappoint.
That'd be cool.
Anyways, oh god, there was definitely some more stuff I wanted to
Just
talk
keep
about.
in mind what I said earlier. You might figure it out.
Oh yeah, by the way, there was definitely also something I wanted to bring up, like the whole amount of Araki forgot, since I know there's like a lot of them like flowing around. Which some of them are a bit out there, and like some guy has at least put together at least a few videos to like kind of debug some of these like forgots. Yeah, especially even going into the manga, so which is actually pretty. At least he like explains some of it. It's how like I got some of this information, like because this guy actually does provide some sources for it. So if you guys are interested, I like might also like link that in the Discord. In the Discord as well, like because it does at least it does provide some good insight in my opinion. I would post it in like the anime channel, right, Aiden?
I believe so. Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, but yeah, I think like at least it should be watched to at least like kind of explain some of the forgots that like kind of like might occur, because like there's definitely a few things like, and even I kind of like believed in some of these misconceptions at first, because I guess it was kind of just breezed through a bit. All right, what did you think of the ending of part 5, Rob?
You mean part 4?
Part 4, yeah. I don't know why I said part 5.
Because you're really wanting to talk about that death battle you have come up with.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely pretty eager, but I'm gonna hold off on that. Although, yeah. What do you think about the end of part 4?
I think Aiden and I talked about the death of freaking what's his name?
Kira.
Kira Yoshikage.
And he went out kind of on a bad note to some extent. It was kind of a slap in the face to the character.
Yeah, in the end, I'd say like
with how powerful he made himself out to be, the way he goes out is just kind of out of the blue.
What do you think about the whole battle between like Josuke and like honestly and Kira? Like honestly,
oh, that was great.
Yeah.
It was basically. I mean, even if it was like a game of cat and mouse, it was basically like it was a battle of wits at that point.
yeah, and they're literally playing against we're literally against their strengths, literally, because they're both like close range stands, and like they're both using long range attacks in order to pretty much pretty much draw out each other.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd say that battle honestly just really of course like just made that of course like that ending of Diamond is Unbreakable just pretty good. Although I will admit that yeah, the way Kira kind of goes, that was definitely anticlimactic. Although I guess it was also because they didn't want to have anybody like just kill him directly. Because I think it was already been enough of that, especially when like Jotaro he killed Dio at the end of part 3.
Huh.
Oh yeah, by the way, I don't know if I brought this up yet. Who is your favorite JoJo so far?
Oh gosh.
I don't know. I thought it'd be an easier question to ask, and like honestly, what would be your favorite?
Well, obviously not Joseph, since I've been shitting on him for
well, yeah,
for a while.
Deserved, man. Anyways, go ahead.
When it comes to power, I have to say Jotaro. when it comes to. I mean, it's most because each one has their own strengths and weaknesses. And I know that sounds like a cop out. Joseph, obviously, I'm not gonna take as one of my favorites. Jotaro, when it comes to power, and his stand is probably up there. When it comes to just character development and how much of a compassionate character he is, Josuke. And when it comes to like him, when it comes to him being in a fight, he's is able to take care of himself. Jonathan, obviously, because he's the one that started it all.
He's pretty much the gentleman to the core.
Yeah. Now, since I'm still working on, I think if anything, I might have the finish watching part 5 before the next podcast.
Yeah.
But
take your time.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna just say it. Giorno is a really. I mean, at times I can't kind of like Tien for the Team 4 Stars of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I can't get a read on him half the time. But I mean, it's obvious what his intentions are and what his goals are, which I think is really good.
I'll be honest, I kind of was never really very fond of Giorno.
And I think if anything, he's to some extent a schemer like his father.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it's clear where he gets that from.
Wait, hold up. Actually, okay. Actually, no, it's not a spoiler. Which one?
Huh?
Which father?
His actual father.
Jonathan.
Dio. Oh wait.
Yeah,
No, I was gonna say when it comes to him, his plans and how he's able to go through them so far.
It's actually technically they're both because it's a mixed blood.
Yeah, because
that's true.
Because Dio's
And
in
plus-
Jonathan's body.
Plus, and I will just briefly talking about 5. Something when Koichi's trying to find Giorno, they find out. People are commenting on the fact that he dyed his hair, but they make a remark that apparently one day, even though it was jet black, apparently, it changed blonde, out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Like 1 minute it was black, the next it was blonde.
That was one thing I honestly never really understood.
It could be because of the vampiric blood. I don't know.
Most likely it was around the time of. Most likely the time when it changed color was probably around the time that Dio drank Joseph's blood. That would be my guess.
I don't think that'd be correct because for one, if I'm right, actually no, it's very difficult to really line that up. Actually, it may or may not be true, although I'm actually
And if anything, and by the way, Giorno
I'm just throwing out theories, mate, not fact.
Giorno was probably conceived around the 6 months that the Star Crusaders were hunting down Dio.
Right.
Because around that time, well,
he was conceived beforehand. Him and his brothers.
He was released a little bit before they started hunting him down.
Not for a little bit. They just thought it was for a little bit.
Yeah. By the way, as far as I'm concerned, not Josuke. Giorno would have to be younger than Josuke, because if I'm right, because in order for anyone in the Joestar family to have even gotten a stand, it would have had to, of course, been when Dio was around, which seems to have been the case.
It kind of makes me think though, if Giorno is part of Dio's blood, wouldn't that whole stand illness thing start kicking in for some people? For instance, Jotaro's mother.
Not exactly. I mean,
unless of course now because they were able to get through it.
It was It was
No, because Jotaro was already born and was pretty young. I want to say 4 or 5 at most. When he got sick.
what, Jotaro or Josuke? You mean?
Josuke.
Yeah, Josuke.
No, but I mean, like Jotaro's mother,
Oh, Jotaro's mom.
Well,
because
simply
they were making the remark that because she was too
Because
weak.
she's of the Joestar bloodline. That's why.
Yeah, and she was not as strong as Jotaro or Joseph. That her stand was practically killing her.
Yeah.
So
You gotta
I kind
have
of
a
thought,
strong fighting spirit.
and that was because of Dio's blood, kind of infecting their bloodline, and
well,
that actually, for me, that brought up the question that if Giorno is Dio's blood, wouldn't that mean that whole thing would start kicking in for some of the more weaker members of the Joestar family?
actually, it was because Dio got pierced by the stand arrow, which is what exactly gave him the stand.
Yeah.
And honestly, like when he got that stand, when he pierced himself with the arrow, everybody else also kind of like got like
Inherited it.
manifesting theirs.
Yeah, because Jonathan's body was kind of sending out like like kind of that distress signal, which kind of caused Holly to get sick. And I will say, like when at least this is a bit more speculation in this case. Like it could be honestly that like when like Dio was killed, honestly, like that their stance didn't exactly go away. More like it would just rely dormant within them until then they actually possessed, of course, the fighting spirit in order to then be able to manifest their stand.
And honestly, like story-wise, the reason why it happened, because Araki based parts 1 through 3 on like the Greek method of storytelling, which was primarily all about the call to adventure, the hero's journey, or the fool's journey.
Also, kind of Fist of the North Star. At least in their designs as well. Like since
that's inspiration art style wise, but not story wise.
Well,
Jotaro ignored the call to the first 2 or 3 calls to adventure, and so in order to actually get him to do what he needs to do as a hero, he was provided with a reason that he could not deny,
Which was his
mom potentially dying if he didn't do this.
Yeah.
But it's a great series. I really do enjoy JoJo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far I've been kind of liking it.
I feel like you should if you don't mind me asking, Rob, how have you been watching JoJo? Oh wait, you said you've watched the English dub, never mind.
Yeah, I've been watching the English. I've been thanks to MJ, I've been using the website she showed me.
Yeah. Okay, because at
this point, especially for part 5, it's nowhere to be found on Netflix or Hulu.
Okay. No, because there are the Blu-ray there are the Blu-ray uncensored versions of JoJo, which I don't know if like you've seen, like especially with part 4 with the rat, which was just. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that actually brings up a really interesting thing that I should talk about, because with some, I think I had the censored version, because there's some points where there's like fatal wounds, like
blackened.
For instance, blackened.
Yeah.
So I think I was watching some of the censored stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if there is an uncensored version for the English sub, although I only know that there's an uncensored version for like the English sub, and I think I might still like be able to find the website that like I used to like to watch the uncensored version of part 4, as well as also part 3, since a lot which is actually also the Blu-ray version as well.
Interesting.
Although it's all subbed. Although I'd say the good thing about it is at least you like get the they could actually put the the copyrighted names in there, like of course whether it be Killer Queen or of course like Crazy Diamond, Echoes, like all of that stuff. At least in the sub.
All right.
Overall, though, we could stand over all three parts that have been animated with stands in them.
Yeah.
The sun is the weakest.
Actually,
Oh.
Stand was stupid.
okay, you know what? Depends how you honestly define the weakest stand, because I feel like Cheap Trick is one of the worst stands.
I mean,
Yeah.
It actively harms its own user.
I mean, it's a sentient stand. So if anything, it can jump from person to person. It's kind of like, oh gosh, I think there was wasn't there another sentient stand? No, Anubis. Anubis.
Yep.
He was another sentient stand.
Yep.
So Trick Trap was one of those ones that kind of defied the rules a little bit. Just like the cat that died and became its stand.
Yep. Stray Cat.
Stray Cat.
Yep, Stray Cat.
Is that name still the same, or is?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right.
And because it was like, so Stray Cat was able to be seen by people, and then you had Strength. That was the giant boat.
There are definitely some exceptions to like certain stands, I will say. Which
I guess because of how powerful they are, they're able to be seen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or honestly just by their abilities, which honestly makes way for honestly just some even crazier stands, which pretty much look unstoppable.
Though thinking about it, because I mean, obviously, Joe's or Jotaro's stand and freaking Dio's is like way freaking powerful. You'd think that theirs would probably catch somebody's eye when they start popping up.
They move at the speed of light.
Actually, I saw a really funny. I was reacting to a really funny video. I don't know if you guys. I don't think it's up yet. It's Perfect Cell versus Dio, and they do a stand battle with apparently Cell having a stand.
What?
Called it's called Moista Fista.
Oh God.
And
is that a band name?
No.
Okay.
Look it up in Spanish. I'm telling you right now, look it up in Spanish. Somebody told me this. Look it up in Spanish.
Moista Fista?
Yes.
That doesn't sound Spanish at all.
Just trust me.
No, I say that because I mean I could speak Spanish, man.
It's supposed to be a joke, dude.
Fista? Vista.
Fista.
Ah.
I think that's it.
Ah, okay. All right. I'll definitely look that up.
Hold on.
It fits with Cell's perverted nature.
Oh God.
Yeah.
This is the reason I never want to watch any of those hentai for Dragon Ball Z.
I'm talking about a bridged Cell.
Exactly.
I'm looking it up. Friggin' A. Because somebody commented on my friggin' videos about it.
There is a question that I want to ask, but I'll save it for whenever you finish part 5. And take your time with it. We want you to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, if you don't enjoy it, honestly, what's the point? If anything, I only finished part 5 as quick as I did, only just because I enjoyed it.
Before we continue, I gotta finish this story because Perfect Cell has a stand called Moista Fista, and it's a buff boy Winnie the Pooh.
What?
I'm not fucking kidding. Perfect Cell. I'm sure I'm gonna look. Oh gosh, this thing is.
It's horrendous.
Oh gosh, I found it. I found an image. Oh gosh, I'm gonna put in Discord. Hold on.
Nightmares are made out of. Is it?
Oh no,
Kind
I
of,
mean,
kind of fitting that that's what it is, considering the fact that Buff Boy Winnie the Pooh is a meme in and of itself.
okay. Look on Discord. It's on the admin.
Oh, okay. Hold
He
on.
can't see
Okay.
that.
Oh, it's
You
not.
have to post it in the co-host.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
So there is an admin chat.
Get rid of that. Let me post it on there. And no joke. This thing is.
What the
Oh, you see it?
What the hell?
Yeah. And by the way, there was an earlier episode where they introduced this thing, and Dio fucking lost to it.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Dio fucking lost
And
to that
it's
thing.
that thing is a meme in and of itself, so it's rather fitting that that's his stand.
I mean, let's face it. In these videos for the Devil Artemis universe, where he's fought off against himself, Carl Weezer from fucking Jimmy Neutron, Hugh Neutron, which I fucking cringe when I came across those episodes. The meme Ugandan Knuckles. I'm trying to think of some of the other wacky characters they've come across. The meme of Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
I've definitely heard about that since I saw like that video when it blew up.
To a lot of the other Dragon Ball Z characters. There's a lot of shit. And to top it off, we also have Kermit the fucking Frog, also as a buff boy at times.
Kermit.
Oh no, I'm actually, you know what? Perfect Cell. I'm
Kermit.
looking it up now. It's horrible. It's horrifying. Buff Kermit. This thing, so when the first time I saw this, I'm like, dude, freaking Kermit's jacked.
What a winner looks like.
Okay, hold on. I'm showing this. And by the way, in the image that I'm sharing with you guys,
What the hell? Is that really Kermit?
that's really Kermit.
Almost thought it was Cell or something for a second.
No, I mean, Cell's on the left, but on the right, it's Kermit. By the
Yeah.
way, that's not even his true. That's not even his final form. His final form is where he's even more buffed up than before.
Trying to draw those characters like, of course, Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star.
Which I gotta say, whoever made the model for that in Source Filmmaker did a really good fucking job. Oh gosh. But yeah, it's funny. Which, by the way, in case you guys, just so you guys know, the way that Cell defeats Kermit is with the stand of his fusion with Shallot.
I have no context.
In case people don't know who Shallot is the character created for Dragon Ball Z Legends.
God.
I think it was Shall-El. Or
Dragon Ball Z
Shall.
Legends.
Yeah.
Huh.
Who is voiced by Alejandro Saab, who runs the Kagi Films channel. And on occasion does voice work for Devil Artemis.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of Dragon Ball Z Legends.
Oh, yeah. I would say if I were to recommend these videos, I'd just say like watch at your own risk. Some of it's really fucking stupid.
Oh, I mean, look at Uganda Knuckles, Perfect Cell versus Uganda Knuckles Part 2
Oh.
or 3.
Oh, if you think that's bad, the freaking sick bastard thought it would be a cool idea to fuse Shallot and Uganda Knuckles. Hold on.
I'm good. I'm sure I don't want to see it.
Ah, damn it! There's no image.
Thank the gods.
Oh, dude, you're forcing my hand. I'm definitely gonna show. I'm gonna find it. And by the way, this thing is called Shuckles.
Trying to give Aiden PTSD.
And like I said, and I think the episode I'm looking forward to watching or doing a reaction to is Perfect Cell versus Doom Guy or Doomslayer. Which that would be awesome. Okay, I found the episode that it's on. I'm trying to find him. You guys will be horrified by the end of this.
It was the kind of things you'd honestly find on Tumblr before they censored.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, man. I'm getting a screenshot right now because I can't find it any other way. Okay, almost there. I'm on. Okay, found it.
Show us the monster.
Oh, actually, it's creative. It is so creative. I just need to save it.
Are you on Mac or PC?
PC. I have ever since I bought a couple of devices from Apple, it's kind of put a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to Apple products because I've had bad experiences with them.
Except for iPhone or Samsung?
Oh no, I mean anything when it comes to Apple. Samsung has not failed me so far. Okay, so here we go. That's Shuckles.
What the hell? He literally looks like an actual target.
Also, if you see in the background, there's Kermit in the dirt.
Yeah, I see.
But yeah, Shuckles.
Part of him looks like a target practicing, like that you put up for honestly like arching or something like that.
Honestly, the design itself is freaking just gold, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I guess the way they set it up is, at least the storyline for this series of videos is, I guess, all-powerful Shaggy shows up and freaking is able to access an ability or transformation that Devil Artemis, the animator, set up called Budget Increase. Which is like where he uses a better model for his animation. So for Shaggy's Budget Increase, they use the Jump Force mod for Shaggy. Where it's like it has the gloves. And by the way, apparently they give Shaggy in this universe a really good backstory as to why he's the way he is. Apparently he killed off all his friends.
Oh.
For power.
If he was in their world.
And somehow By the way, somehow he loses to that.
Everything's relative.
Oh gosh. Which again, the model that's created for this is gold.
By the way, I think I'm gonna go because I feel like everything I at least wanted to like kind of touch upon with JoJo's like kind of been at least like said and done. So yeah, I'll
Oh,
definitely.
wait, hold on. I got one more.
All right.
I gotta show you guys sell it. Hold on, I'm looking for it now. This one might horrify you. So, by the way, and they've come up with a couple of fusions. We've got a fusion for the series of videos. We got a fusion of Cell and Frieza. As I mentioned, the fusion of Shallot and Cell. Actually, no, yeah, I did mention that. And apparently we can blame Kagi Films for this. A fusion of, and I'm not freaking kidding. This isn't a joke, This is something that actually exists on the internet. A fusion of Kermit the Frog and Cell. I am not. I wish I was. I wish I was fucking kidding. This is an actual thing. I'm trying to figure out why it didn't pop up in my usual.
I think Discord's had enough with you.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay, it's.
Discord said it can't take it anymore.
Okay, I found it. Okay. Be horrified.
3, 2, 1. Oh. Oh, God. What the hell?
I told you.
You can barely see Cell anymore in there.
And no, it's more Kermit.
Yeah. If I honestly didn't know what this was, I would have thought it was some kind of like massive fly or something like that.
But again, it's the fusion of Cell and Kermit the Frog. And the part of Kermit the Frog is more prominent than Cell. Whereas, and it's interesting because, like I said, for the previous image, you have the fusion of Shallot and Ugandan Knuckles, and it's almost like kind of like a good combination. You know what I mean? Of those two.
I wouldn't know.
Okay. In fact, if I could show one more, I do want to show you guys the fusion of Shallot and Cell, because this one is actually, to use their own phrasing, perfect. Hold on a sec, trying to find it. And again, it's weird, and there's been a lot of weird shit for this series. Hell, the worst one, and probably the one that I've come to like freaking expect most of the time is Zarbon, and the joke about him. I don't know if I don't want to go into too much, but let's just say the way his character's set up is really fucked up half the time. In fact, here. Oh, and so so I screwed up the name. It's for the fusion of cell and shallot. It's cellut. I think that's what it was. Shallel, sorry, Shallel. I have it like right in front of me. Oh, and by the way, when I show you guys this image, apparently this was the fight between Super Kermit and Shallel, and apparently his stand got upgraded too. Just so I could show you guys. And okay, it's up. Probably the best one out of the three. And somebody told me apparently that's what Cell's design was supposed to be originally.
Interesting.
Or at least close to it. In fact, there's a joke in a New Year's episode where he claims the thing on his head is actually a hat. And he takes it off, and he actually has hair. So, all right. But so I apologize for kind of horrifying you guys with that, but I figured I'd just show you guys some of the stuff that I've had to react to. Worst one being Sell It. Or Sale It. Oh, is it Sale It? Or yeah, Sale It. But anywho. By the way, do you guys have any stuff I should react to? Because I just started. Today I'm actually going to start recording, or after we do the stream, try to do 2 hours of Hyrule Warriors.
Ooh.
But because I'm going to be doing a drive tomorrow. But if anything, I can wake up early. But anyway, any stuff you guys want me to react to? Because I got a list of stuff that I'm going to be rotating through when it comes to reactions. And I just started doing Taito Modachi with his Gohan verse.
Huh.
But yeah, here's basically the lineup. Alter, which is a channel with horror short films, any animation content. Daito Modachi, Devil Artemis, reactions to topics. Flash Gets, another just drama stuff, and the SCP animation videos.
That's quite a lot.
Well, I've set up a schedule where I've been kind of doing some pre-recording videos, like just pre-recording and then editing them later. And I got it set up where I do have like a schedule where I do some videos each day. Like one day doing reaction stuff, then the next maybe doing Let's Plays. Just kind of going back and forth.
It's a good choice.
That way one day I can like just play video games, have fun. Next, do reaction videos. But did you guys have any suggestions?
Oh.
Probably not.
What?
I was saying, would you guys have any suggestions?
I don't have any.
All right. Are you guys
can't-
tired?
At least not off. At least not off the top of my head. I'm
All right.
still kind of nursing a bit of a sinus problem.
All right. Anything we could probably we're almost 3 hours in.
Oh wow.
I think if anything, I'll call it. We've been on here for quite a bit. We basically for a good chunk of the stream talked about the 2 topics we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
So all right, I think with that we'll end it here. Thank you guys for stopping by, everyone who's been watching the stream, as well as probably people who are going to probably watch this after it's been live. Special thanks to Vegan and Aiden for coming on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed us talking about JoJo and The Mandalorian, as well as some of the other stuff. If you guys want to, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on social media. Links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Vegan and Aiden and myself signing off. Have a good one and take care. Peace.
See ya.